All right, welcome back to the FPL Mana podcast show. This is your host, the FPL Mana. My name is Adiwale, and we are short of time. I think this is the latest I've ever recorded and posted before the deadline. It's the 15th of April already, and you have the Champions League coming up soon. Matchday 14 is on the way, but we cannot forget what happened in Matchday 13 with Rice scoring a brace of free kicks. Direct free kicks, and not just flukes, but like real goals that went in and surprised everyone. PSG got a 3-1 lead against Aston Villa in the home leg. Barcelona destroyed um, Dortmund 4-0, and Bayern could not get a home victory against Inter as they have to do another battle or fight another battle with injuries against Inter in the second leg. And the round of 16, the quarterfinals, first leg is done, and this round 2 of it is about to start in a few hours. Hello guys, welcome to the FPL Mana podcast show. This is your host, the FPL Mana. I'm back at my old crib, that's the family house in Abuja. So the background is a little bit different. So I quickly just said I should record this within the next, we have about 8 hours to deadline. It's roughly a few hours left. Yeah, just like a few hours based on my own time. It's 8 p.m. West African time today. So we have like roughly 8 hours before the deadline. So I said I should just, write up some things or say some things about round of 16 games, or rather quarterfinal games. I keep saying round of 16 quarterfinals that's coming up soon. And I'm just basically here to give you guys updates on what you need to know ahead of match day 14. I'll slow down a little bit so you guys can listen to me properly. In case you have not followed me on X, please, that is where you most likely see many more updates from what I have written or posted so far. And I've just written a new article ahead of match day 14, so you can quickly check it out at rotobola.com, and I will tag it underneath this post on Twitter, on YouTube, and as well as other podcast platforms. So please check it out later. So I've gotten a few questions. I've gotten what do we do ahead of match day 14? And I've got a few questions. I got a question on Limitless. When is the best time to play Limitless? I also have a question of my own on what do we do about Barcelona since they have a 4-0 lead? What do we do about possible rotations that may happen either in the front three or in midfield? Like Olmo is available now, even though he's in quotes not ready to play as much minutes as expected. He's available for selection and so on and so forth. But before we go into questions and answers, let's look at updates concerning match day 14. And one update you need to know for Aston Villa: Morgan Rogers has been directly involved in 6 goals for Aston Villa in Champions League this season. 4 goals and 2 assists. That is a hat-trick in match day 8, and many other returns that came recently. He had a goal against the 4th goal came against PSG in the last leg. So only 2 English players aged under 28 have had more goal involvement in a single edition of the competition. That includes Jude Bellingham and Bukayo Saka. A lot of updates. One update that I forgot to mention about, or I'm about to mention, is Alejandro Balde is injured and unavailable for match day 14 for Barcelona. He's injured, and who else is injured? We have a lot of players that are injured. Kamavinga is suspended after collecting his 3rd yellow card / a red card last week, and he will miss the game against Arsenal. I think Dortmund are missing a few players like Stockleberg and Ceballos. Arsenal are missing a few players like Calafori and Gabriel Jesus, Gabriel Magalhaes, Gabriel Jesus, Kai Havertz, and many other players that are on the injury list for Arsenal, and so on and so forth. I think we already are familiar with most of them. I think the only major update is Bayern will not have Neuer back before the second leg that's coming up today or tomorrow, and Bayern injuries are still the same. Musiala is out, Alphonso Davies is out, Ito is out, Upamecano is out. Real Madrid, we have Lunin that will be out also. We have Mendy that is also going to be an absentee for the game against Arsenal. And I think that's majorly it for the updates in terms of injury updates. And talking about updates, before I go into my team, before I go into the current updates on my team, I I scored about 95 points last week, 95 points in total. And it was kind of a funny week because I didn't have Lamine Yamal who scored, I didn't have Vitinha, I didn't have Vicha Varaskelia, I didn't have, I think I only had Lewandowski among those guys that got double digits last week. I didn't have a lot of players that had double digits, but I was able to score 95 points last week. And it was very good. It was very good because it took me from 22k ranking down to or up to 14,000, 14.7k rank. So that is good for my rank going forward. I can still finish in the top 10k, even though the plan was to finish in like the top 5k or top 100. But my aim right now is to even just get that, that PS5. That's more important than any rank that I'm looking forward to getting. So if I can get like the most points in a week, that would be like my major target for winning like a trophy or like an award or something. So, but what tips do we have to offer this week? If in case you want to win a PS5 like me, I think is to target Real Madrid. Real Madrid were stunned by Arsenal last time, and there is the whole talk about comeback, and in Spanish it's called the remontada, and Real Madrid players are all optimistic. If you go to Real Madrid's fan page, the Madrid Extra, they have been tweeting day in day out about how the remontada is coming up. They are going to win the game. It is a must win for them. Everybody's speaking about it. Ex players are speaking about it. Former managers are speaking about it. You can see a comment here about Rafa Benitez speaking about it. Everybody believes they can do it. They can do the comeback. The comeback is possible. And I've even seen news about highlights about probably Ancelotti's job could be on the line if he doesn't get the game through to the next round, if it doesn't help Real Madrid qualify. And it's something like a high stakes encounter. Real Madrid needs to qualify. They don't need to just win like a 1-0 or 2-0 win or 2-1 win. They need to qualify, and best way of them qualifying is one, restricting Arsenal from scoring and scoring at least 4 goals, or at least taking it to 3-3 in aggregates for them to move into the quarterfinals, or sorry, move into the overtime, or what we call extra time, penalty shootout, and so on and so forth. So is it possible? Can Real Madrid pull it off? Can they do the remontada? Can they pull it off? Only time will tell. If you have your Real Madrid assets, your Vinicius Junior, your Kylian Mbappe, please don't sell them. This is the time to actually believe in those players to do wonders against Arsenal. I'm sure Arsenal will definitely keep it tight, and let's see how that goes. Talking about Real Madrid, there's a news that popped up on my feed this week, and it's kind of funny because former Arsenal loanee Dani Ceballos apparently spoke to Marca, that is one of the Spanish media outlets, saying that before he left Arsenal, he secretly took pictures of the tactics and philosophies of the manager Mikel Arteta and shared with his own manager Carlo Ancelotti and the coaching staff, and he knew one day this would be needful. So we have players definitely breaching in an NDA agreement just to help Real Madrid win. I don't know. I don't know, lawyers or something. Is there no penalty for something like this? I don't know, but it's crazy. It's crazy. Things are happening here. I'm talking about crazy events. Aston Villa also feel they can get a comeback. Aston Villa also feel like they can get a comeback. And I saw something. Yes. The manager said they are going to build an atmosphere in which they are going to make it difficult for PSG to come out of it unscathed. And Aston Villa, to be honest, are actually unbeaten in the Champions League this season at home. They have 4 wins and 1 draw at home this season in the Champions League at home. Getting the draw against Juventus and winning Bayern, winning Celtic, winning Club Brugge, and I think some other clubs I can't remember now on the spot against in the Champions League. So is it possible that Aston Villa, the Villains, still a win against PSG? Well, PSG have replied and said that this is not going to be a walk in the park for Aston Villa, as they are here to win it. They have taken out Liverpool in the last round, and I'm sure they are not scared to do the same against Aston Villa in their home grounds. And there's a bit of a statement between them, Dembele and Luis Enrique, saying that tomorrow match will be very intense, that they're going to come out as the victors, and it's going to be an open game. Personally, I see it as a game where it's going to be back and forth. And we might have an open game where we'll see goals in this game. So players to target here. If you have your PSG players, your Varaskelia, your Dembele, please don't sell them. This is the time to, back them in for this game. Dembele says that we came here to win the match, and we are not going to change our game plan. We are not going to change our game plan. So it's aura for aura. Everybody's going in, going out. I don't think a team like Dortmund can go in or out against Barcelona. I mean, it's happened in the past where Barcelona were over. Barcelona kind of did a comeback from a 4-0 defeat and won PSG 6-1 some years ago, 2017 pretty precise. And so I'm not sure Dortmund have the quality on ground to do that, but it's most likely game over for them. But Inter most likely will move to the next round unscathed because they went to do the difficult task of helping themselves get a 2-1 victory against Bayern in their own turf, and they'll be welcoming Bayern to their stadium this week, the San Siro, and they are also unbeaten at home with 5 straight wins in Champions League season at home, and they have scored 11 goals, conceding only 1, and that is going to be a very tough result or tough ground for Bayern to get a result. The company has to find a solution. I'm very sure he's not going to try that experiment he did last time by putting in what is this dude's name? Rafael Guerrero as a 10. So Muller will definitely start this week. And let's see how things pan out in that game. Looking at the Champions League teams, I've gotten 2 questions this week. One I asked the audience in terms of rotations. Barcelona are through to the next round, or most likely 90% through with the 4-0 lead. Are we going to see rotations in terms of the starting level? It depends. We are going to see rotation, for example, on the left back position because someone like Alejandro Balde is out. So we're going to see someone like Gerard Martin, who is tipped to start the next game for Barcelona in the predicted lineups, and is only priced at 3.8 million, and he's definitely going to cover because he's the closest to a left back that can start for Barcelona in that position. There is another young player that is also tipped to start for Barcelona, or at least to be involved, but there's no need to worry about that because we are going to get to see the early kickoffs. That is today's lineup. PSG Aston Villa will get to see who starts for them, and you get to see who is rotated or not. But we can expect some rotations. Personally, I think Olmo may or may not start. I think he may come from the bench to get some minutes, or personally he could start because they could rest him. They could rest him and probably someone like Lewandowski could be rested as well because the top goal scorer, one of the top goal scorers for the contest, who has 11 goals right now, Barcelona, is qualified to next round. He has scored 2 goals against his former club, and I don't know, there's Ferran Torres that I've been seeing smiling in a lot of pictures recently, so I don't know, I feel like we could see Olmo and Ferran Torres start. So far so good. I don't have any updates concerning rotations on Barcelona or predicted lineups, but okay, a fresh report just came in that Lewandowski raised fitness alarm. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. This is fresh news that came in. I'm literally seeing this for the first time. Okay. While it is number one raises concern is the fact that during the conversation, the striker touched the back of his left thigh, leading to suggestions that he's feeling some discomfort. So we could see Lewandowski get arrested. So I don't know. We might see rotations from Barcelona, but as I said, we have the early kickoff, so we will know which player starts or not. The second question I had is from a certain individual. I can't remember his name now. Let me check my mentions. Someone asked a question concerning Limitless Chip. I'm trying to find that person. I'm trying to find the person that asked that question on my mentions here. It was yesterday the question came. Yes, Saida Shan, please forgive me. Saida Shan asked, when is the best time, in my opinion, to use your Limitless Chip if you have it available, either now or later. Personally, I think this is the best time. We only have I didn't mention this earlier, but we only have 3 transfers in this round. We have only 3 free transfers this round. So next week we'll have 5 transfers. So there's not really much need to play your Limitless Chip maybe till the semi-finals again. And in the semi-finals, we have only 4 teams to select from. So you most likely have a plethora of options you would have already selected. So your last 3 moves will just be to avoid injuries or possible rotations or players you don't seem to like in that round. So I think the best time to use your limitless is actually right now. In case you have some issues with someone like me that has double Arsenal defense, I might want to get rid of double Arsenal defense because they are facing Real Madrid at home. I'm not very certain Real Madrid will keep a clean sheet or Arsenal will keep a clean sheet. Talking about clean sheet odds, let's look at projections for this week. Rob T usually posts something about Champions League projections, and yes, they are out already. So these are the team and player projections for this week for the quarterfinals. So in terms of projections, Real Madrid and Barcelona lead the goal projections with 2.05 goals to be scored, predicted to score at least 2 goals in either games. So you can see the chances of a clean sheet across all games is very low. So if I was going to play my limitless, I'll most likely take out most of the defenders that are facing tougher teams. Maybe if I was going to bring in defenders, it will most likely be Inter, at least a Pavard or something, or Damian, who also did well last time before was subbed off but came out with the clean sheet point either ways. So no much more on clean sheets, but this is the best time to play a limitless because you can pick in as many as many players across 8 teams or participating, and this is just the best time. So using the style to talk about projections, player with the most projected goals to score the most goals this week is Mbappe has 0.7 chance of scoring or producing a 0.7 xg this week. So, and his odds are looking very great. Plus, he is likely to be the number one taker on penalties now that Vinicius missed the last one against Atletico Madrid in Matchday 11. I think it's Matchday 12. So let's see. Let's see how that goes. So Mbappe, Lewandowski is still there because he's projected to start either ways. He could start. Kane is still on the list there to start, and the list goes down to Rodrigo, who is 20th on the list there. So these are the top 20 players projected to score this week. I like the odds of Rashford. Now I'm going to talk about Rashford, who is my differential captain of the week. If you check our recent article, you'll see me mention him there. Rashford, according to Jacob Tanswell, that's an Aston Villa writer for The Athletic, he said that he wrote about Emery's comments on whether Asensio is still the main penalty taker for Aston Villa. And Asensio, and this is what Dani had to say, he said, we have our penalty shooters, and he mentioned clearly that our first taker is Rashford, our second taker is Asensio, and third and others is Yuri Telemans, John McGinn, and Oli Watkins. So Oli Watkins is fifth on the ranking order of penalty takers. Asensio is second, Rashford is first. So with that in mind, we have to remember that Rashford also has a goal record against PSG. He has scored 3 goals and 1 assist against PSG in the last 5 games. Even though this tallies back to the 2020 season when Manchester United played PSG, it doesn't matter, it's a record. So I mean, if Rashford is predicted to start and he has a good chance of scoring about 0.34 xg and he's on penalties, even though the form has not been there, even though the minutes has not been there, he has not played more than, I don't think he has played up to 90 minutes in an Aston Villa shirt. So far so good. The minutes seems to be there, especially if you are looking for someone to replace Lewandowski with, if Lewandowski is not predicted to start. You also get a chance to know if Rashford starts because Aston Villa have the early kickoff today, or both Aston Villa and what's his name now, Aston Villa and Barcelona play at the same time, and we also have like an hour before the deadline before we can lock in our teams. So I think Rashford is a good differential option this week. Moving on to my team and what moves will I be making, and this will wrap up this podcast. Okay, I have to take care of Balde. Because he's injured. I'm not really banking on defenders this week because naturally I would love to sub out these 2 Arsenal defenders, but I'm not really banking on defenders this week. However, Guerrero may not start because he was only much of a gamble last time out because of his position. So I might end up bringing in Inter defenders here, and maybe a Rashford. I'm actually considering Rashford. I like the odds of Rashford. Plus, if I want to win that PS5, this has to be the time to take some well-calculated risk. And I may not captain him, but I like the chances of him starting. I like the fact that he could be on penalties, but he's the guy to get. Or I would just play safe and go for Kylian Mbappe, since I also mentioned that we should target Real Madrid attackers. So I might just go double Real Madrid attack and keep on Kylian Mbappe there. Then in defense, I could get in a Pavard, and another, Inter defender, or maybe a Real Madrid defender. Unfortunately, Valverde is not a red back here, so I can just get in maybe Antonio Rudiger for this round, and just invest in Real Madrid and Inter's players. Like I said, this is time to invest in those players. But personally, I think Rashford has a chance of making it into my team. But these are my prospective moves, so who knows? Anything could happen. If something comes up, I will post my final team later. You guys will see whoever made the final selection. So that's pretty much it for this week, and thank you guys for tuning in to our podcast again. We'll see you next time. Hopefully I'll be back in my home crib in Ibadan. I've traveled back. I just came back for the Easter break to greet my family, so that's why I'm in my old room here recording and posting this on time. It's a little bit hot in here, so I want to quickly post this. If you enjoyed this content, please follow me on the FPL manual, and I'll be there to answer any of your questions. For now, enjoy your week, enjoy your Matchday 14 selections, and good luck. Bye for now.